In this video, we're going to talk about exactly what an option is. Options are contracts. Plain and simple, that's all options are. An option is a contract. Well, there are two parties to the contract, the option buyer and the option seller. The person who pays money to get into the contract, the buyer, has all of the rights associated with the contract. The person who receives money to enter into the contract, known as the seller, has the obligations associated with the contract. There are two basic types of option contracts: calls and puts. A standard American-style call option gives the buyer the right to purchase 100 shares of the underlying stock on or before a set date at a set price. This is known as the strike price. The seller of the call option is obligated to sell 100 shares of the underlying stock on or before a set date at the strike price of an option. Let's say that John wants to enter into a contract with Carol. John would like the right to purchase the stock for $50 per share. John gives money to Carol. Carol agrees to sell the stock for $50 per share to John, accepts the money, and a contract is born. We would say that John bought the call and Carol sold it because John paid money to enter into the contract and Carol received money. If at any time between now and expiration, John chooses to exercise his rights, Carol must provide 100 shares of the stock to John for $50 per share. A put option is very similar to a call option, but the rights and obligations are reversed. The buyer of the put has the right to sell the stock to the seller of the put. The seller of the put is obligated to purchase the stock. Buyers still have rights, and sellers have obligations. Well, let's say that John wants to enter into another contract, this time with Tom. John would like the right to sell the stock for $50 per share. John gives money to Tom. Tom agrees to buy the stock for $50 per share from John and accepts the money, and a contract is born. We would say that John bought the put and Tom sold it, because John paid money to enter into the contract and Tom received money. If at any time between now and expiration, John chooses to exercise his rights, Tom must purchase 100 shares of the stock from John for $50 per share. If you're going to learn options, it's important to memorize these rights and obligations. All the math, every strategy, every bit of profit or loss in a trade is based on the value of the rights and obligations contained within an option contract. When you buy a call, you're gaining the right to purchase the stock at a set price. Think of a call option as though it's a coupon. If the stock goes up in price, your rights become more valuable. If the stock goes down in price, the option contract loses value. The most a buyer of an option can lose is the price they paid. The most the buyer of a call can make is unlimited because there's no limit to how high a stock can go. When you sell a call, you're agreeing to sell the stock at a set price. The most you can make when you sell a call is the money you receive for entering into the contract. Selling a call by itself has theoretically unlimited risk because you have agreed to sell the stock at a set price, and there's no limit to how high that stock can go. When you buy a put, you have the right to sell the stock at a set price. The most you can make when you purchase a put is technically limited because you make more money the lower a stock goes. Well, since a stock can't go below zero, puts have limited profit potential. When you sell a put, you have the obligation to purchase the stock. The most you can make when you sell a put is the money you receive when you enter the contract. Selling a put by itself has potentially high risk because if the stock goes to zero, you're still obligated to purchase the stock for the strike price of the put. Again, if you're only going to memorize one thing about options, it needs to be the rights and obligations associated with the contracts. Now, there are two basic types of options. There's American-style options and European-style options. European style options can only be exercised at expiration. American style options can be exercised at any point between the opening of the contract and the expiration date. Make sure that you understand completely the basics of options that we've covered in this video. Practice in a virtual environment and have fun with it.